I mean, say the generation before us, there was a period where supposedly they were the first teenagers, and they could be rebels for a few years, and then suddenly they were in like brown nylon trousers, being like geography teachers, and now we're in an age where
adolescence continues forever.
Yeah.
You know, where you can have a job quite easily where you stay in your pajamas at home for the entire duration if that's what you want to do, because that's what you did as a teenager.
Right. I've had that job. There have been moments over the last 8 years where I've thought, man, if I packed this in, what would I do?
Do you find that spurs you on?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because
the absence of an
absence of a plan B. For me, I just wanted to work in music, and like, I never really thought of anything else except when I was like
that big. So go and tell me, what was it?
Like a wizard.
A wizard?
When I was really little, that's what I wanted to be. I thought that was a legitimate career choice.
You know, for me, it was always this idea that, you know, if you produce a product and you believe in the product that wholeheartedly, that you then, once it's done, you put it out there into the world and the world discovers it, and that's your key to success and your long-term fame. But actually, these days, I've realised that, you know, there are just so many different forms of media that people absorb their information from, that you actually have to access them in a far more direct way.
Yeah, although conversely, nowadays you can be discovered by doing something good. From one person finding it or you telling someone and it growing in a way that previously you would have had to advertise.
I don't know, I think because the channels of opportunity for discovery were so narrow that you knew where to dangle that carrot for the right person to see it and then go and it's a mushroom and explode from there. And now I suppose because we've got this sort of democratization of media in a way that when I was growing up and sort of trying to think about these things didn't exist, now it's sort of like, well, who do I need to show my shoes to in order for me to become successful and for the world to see them?
Are there any rules which you would never break, like brown shoes with a black trousers, or I don't know what
I do it all the time. I have no problem with that.
Black shoes and black and blue's okay.
No, black and blue's not.
No, okay.
No. Classically speaking, you're always supposed to wear
brown and
blue. Yeah, black and black.
But are there any of those rules that you wouldn't break?
Footwear, it's pretty hard to reduce them down to those rules though. I don't think I can really. I mean, yeah, like I probably wouldn't make a pair of. Oh, you'd never make a pair of grey shoes with a black sole. There you go. You just wouldn't. That would be inappropriate.
I was reading an interview recently with David Axelrod. He was saying that when he was first starting at Capitol in the 50s or 60s, all the A&R men were classically trained.
Really?
So they would listen to the music and they would be like, I'm not sure about this chord here, you know, you could have resolved this in a different way, and, you know, they would like be able to read the charts. And record companies now, most A&R men couldn't. Well, no, I'm not going to say that.
You're about to slag some people off and had to think about what you're about to say.
I think that is no longer an important skill to have. And I'm not saying that you necessarily need to, but it's interesting that in some ways that, you know, the A&R men are the people who choose what music gets recorded and to a great extent what gets signed and released and promoted and so on. And most now have had no formal training, and I think it's part of a kind of process in the arts and the media where formal training isn't as valued as it was a generation ago.